if you broadcast what you desire and what you want on the right frequency band in the right way, it will vibrate molecules in the physical universe and change the attraction of these molecules so that what you want starts to physically materialize. And the way it physically materializes is the universe creates circumstances, conditions, situations, events, and people that will all go together miraculously so that what you want happens and what you desire to attain actually materializes. So it's spooky. Writing things down is mystical and magical, but there's science behind it. Here's why.
Welcome back to AF9 Deep Truth Files, everyone. They call me Ancient. Now we're looking to drop another hot video today dealing with raising the vibration, setting the frequency right. That's what we do. That's what we does. Now, without further ado, let's kick back, get into the video, get your pen, paper, and then we're going to see what notes that we can copy.
When you think a thought, it's in your field. Science knows this. It's there as a wave of energy.
Okay.
An electron is a wave, but when it's observed, it becomes a particle.
Mm-hmm.
So you think a thought, I want to make $100,000. I want to make $1 million a year. I want to make $5 million. I want to have $10 million in the bank. I want a Lamborghini. So you think a thought. It's a wave of energy. When you look at it and see a picture of it, it stops being a wave and becomes a particle because you've observed it.
Okay.
And then when you write it down on a piece of paper, ideally white paper with a pen with blue ink, because there's energy in the color contrast to the brain, you transfer what's in the ether into the physical universe. Here's the analogy. If you look up in the sky and you see some clouds and you go, oh, it's an eagle. Within a second, the eagle's gone because the clouds move.
Yeah.
When you think a thought, oh, I want a Lamborghini, it's gone, just like the cloud. Unless you capture it and write it down on a piece of paper, you don't transfer what's in the ether.
What he's talking about, you can look it up yourself. It's called scripting. That's why, and some people recommend like the 369 method, meaning that you write down 3 things in the morning, 3 things in the afternoon, 3 things at night, and then you say them out loud before you go to your bed as well. Reprogramming, scripting.
Into the physical universe. When you transfer it to the physical universe, it becomes now physical. It becomes real. Writing it down. Why is writing it down on paper better than if you type it into your phone or electronic device? When you write, and think of something that nobody does today, cursive writing, which is, Palmer penmanship, right? When you write cursive, there are thousands of neurotransmitters firing off in your brain.
Okay.
And thousands of neural pathways because of the movements of your hand. So therefore, when you write down what you want, the impression that it's making in your brain is in thousands of locations.
Okay.
When you type, there are less than 24.
Really?
Yeah, because there's only 24 movements.
Interesting.
And if you use your thumbs and do this, there's 2.
It's even less.
That miracles are experienced very rarely, maybe once or twice in a lifetime. But once you start to acknowledge and see the things that you take for granted every day as miracles, like your breath or the ability to walk or having the sun rise.
Miracles are linked to gratitude. You have to understand gratitude is a must. You have to be grateful for everything around you. How little, how insignificant it might seem, subjective. These are all miracles.
Or seeing plants and flowers around you or the relationships you have as miracles, then more miracles can be experienced in a consistent basis. So miracle is just when you align yourself with that which you desire. So when you align yourself with the beauty of the world, then more beauty comes your way. When you align yourself with more money abundance, then more money comes your way. So that is what a miracle really is. It's just an alignment. So start to see your everyday experiences.
Yeah, miracles are practically like alignment on steroids. That I don't think there's a simpler way for me to put it. It's alignment on steroids that start to happen. And you're like, what the hell is? Yes, it is going on for you. You deserve it. Believe me, you deserve everything. Remember, anything and everything you see around you, someone owns it. You pull up in like New York, you look at all of those big buildings. Remember, there's people out here who actually own an entire country. You think I'm telling a lie? Don't let them fool you. Most of these people that you see are just figureheads in front of you. There are people who actually own a country, and you're walking on their land. As simple as that would sound, they're not God. I know that they're not gods, but they actually put themselves in a position of power where they can say who, what, when, where. You see what I'm saying?
That you take for granted, acknowledge them as miracles, and say to yourself, what a miracle, what a miracle. And you will see that more miracles come into your experience more consistently. Many blessings.
The truth is, you must keep going. I repeat, keep going. Why? Because you deserve to see what happens when all your hard work pays off. Keep going because you're stronger than you think. Keep going because each step forward brings you one step closer to your goals. Keep going because the best is yet to come. You need to understand you can't win all the time, and unless you lose, you haven't even tried. And if you fail, at least you'll fail falling forwards. For you know, life is full of unexpected twists and turns. Things happen that you don't expect, that you could never have expected. So don't get too confident, even arrogant when you succeed, when you win and you're on a high. Equally important, you mustn't allow yourself to get down when you lose or fail. I mean, just remember, no matter how poorly you have performed.
Truly, yes, truly what he's saying. Because there are times when we have got no energy to get up and do the things that we have actually write down on a piece of paper the goals that we're looking for, because sometimes we're just mentally drained. Life is just lifing. And then it looks like we're setting ourselves like dopamine goals. Like it's just feel good in the moment, but you have to keep going. Don't matter what happens, keep going, get up. Just see where will you be? Because you can start off small and end up doing something way more impactful than what you think. People are waiting on you right now. Your tribe is waiting on you. Get up, do it, keep going. Even if you fail, there's not even fail, it's just improvement. So when you have that idea, when you get that download and you say, you know what, I'm going to get up and I'm going to do this, do it. Don't wait, because remember, procrastination is the enemy of success. Keep going.
You're never hopeless. Keep going. Because the one thing you can be absolutely certain of is that the tables will turn. That's absolutely guaranteed. So in other words, if you're on a high, be humble. And if everything has gone wrong, be hopeful and keep going. Just remember, nothing ever stays the same. So, the truth is, I repeat, you must keep going. The rewards will be there for you. Keep going.
The sooner you realize that most people actually have no desire to truly understand you and what you're about and what you're saying and what you mean, and they really are they just want to disprove you. It doesn't matter, bro. You can be about the most positive thing, bro. Cognitive dissonance is real. If what you're saying goes against someone's belief, they will fight to the ends of the earth to disprove what you're saying. It could be 100% true, 100% factual. You can have 100% factual documentations to back up what you're saying. But cognitive dissonance makes people, they don't care They don't care. They don't care about facts. They care about what they believe because their emotions are tied into their belief. So the sooner you realize that, you'll stop trying to prove yourself. You'll stop trying to explain yourself.
The next thing was when you're trying to prove yourself. Why does their opinion matters? Because, most people think prison has bars, concrete walls, steel doors, or a number instead of a name. You get where I'm coming from? Now, but the most dangerous prison ever built has no bars, no walls, no guards. You can't see it, you can't smell it, you can't touch it, yet millions are trapped inside of it every day. It is called public opinion. Why do you need their opinion? Why do you need their verification? Why do you need their certification? From the moment you are born, the sentence begins. Be realistic. People like us don't do that. That's not how the world works. Who do you think you are? Each comment sounds harmless. Each opinion feels small, but stacked together, they become a cage. You don't need their validation for nothing. I understand the cognitive dissonance and all that stuff when you try to relay your point. Just plant the seed, leave it. Leave the universe to water it and do what it does. Just focus on you. Become the best version of you. Lead by your own example. They will circle back. They will come around. First they laugh before they start to clap and celebrate. And they'll be like, yeah, that's my guy. That's my girl. Whatever.
Stop trying to talk to people and convince people and change their minds because you're not going to change their minds. They have to go within themselves and change their beliefs by changing how they feel and their own emotional attachments to their indoctrination. Stop taking on other people's baggage, bro. Let them be delusional. Like, real life. Just let them be delusional.
Yeah, let them be whoever they want to be. You don't need their opinion as well, because why are you trying to change them? They're trying to change you. You see in front of you, they change the Agent Smith right in front of you when you bring them the truth and stuff like that. But you don't need that. That's a waste of energy right there. Just focus on you, build you, grow you. Yeah, it is what it is right there. Don't even look at these people.
God will often isolate you before he elevates you. It's just preparation. And what's interesting is that our brains, they don't just learn from information. They mirror people. Have you ever heard the saying, you become the 5 people that you surround yourself with? Well, this is very similar. And it's through something that's called mirror neurons. Basically, we unconsciously absorb the emotions and the beliefs and the identities and limitations of who we are.
Especially if you're an empath. Be careful of and be aware of who and what you go around because you absorb this
consistently around. And so when God begins calling you into a different version of yourself, the first thing he's going to do is interrupt what and who you've been mirroring. The community that I had with my friendships, they didn't show up the way that I expected. I felt like I had no village when I was going through postpartum twice. And for a long time, I thought that something was wrong with me. And now I understand that I wasn't being abandoned. It was just separation for the sake of rewiring. And you stay surrounded by people who live in either fear or survival mode or doubt, where they're settling in their life. Your brain copies that posture automatically, even if you want more. And so isolation just interrupts your old identity loops and it quiets your external voices so that you can finally hear what you want and what you actually believe. That's why so many biblical figures were shaped in obscurity. Moses was shaped in the desert and Joseph was shaped in prison. Before visibility comes identity clarity, and identity clarity requires space. In quiet seasons, your brain prunes old pathways and patterns that are tied to wounded narratives and just fall.
I understand what she's saying. When she said right there about them being in that state of an isolation state, such as Moses in the desert or Joseph or whoever she just mentioned right there, that is because being lonely and being alone is 2 different things. Sometimes you just need to be alone.
identities. That is synaptic pruning. Scripture calls this pruning that produces the fruit. And either way, the outcome is the same. What no longer serves your growth just begins to fall away. In isolation, God becomes your mirror instead of the culture. We are transformed by what we repeatedly behold, meaning you slowly start reflecting Him instead of your environment. The loneliness, it doesn't just go away, but it does stop feeling meaningless. And I realized that God wasn't ignoring me. He was just reintroducing me to myself and detoxing me from the identities that I once mirrored for years, and is now just becoming the loudest voice that is shaping who I am today. I wasn't alone. I was just being formed. Before elevation, God makes sure that crowds can't define you, so that rejection can't destabilize you, forms you where nobody sees you, so that when you're finally visible, your identity doesn't shake. And God is resetting who you mirror so that the next room you walk into doesn't recreate the version of you that He already healed.